The all new flat trigger for the M&P 2.0. Check this out. Okay, so I loaded this mag up with 15 rounds. I'm gonna take 3-shot burst groups, like 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest. Just see what kind of, if we can hit the steel. You know, obviously I'm not testing for groupings right now because that's all on the shooter, not so much the equipment. But I just wanna see if I can hit steel. I don't know how far away we are, but I'm guessing 30, 40 feet. I'm gonna walk up a few feet here, but let's just see what will happen. Missed a couple, but hey, not too shabby, right? So this is cool. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the standard M&P trigger, it's this curved hook thing and it has a hinge. There's no safety actually in the trigger like the Glocks. This one changes that and adds a safety that's similar to the Glocks. And this kit comes with like different configurations. So you get all these different colored springs, and I actually have a spreadsheet that I'll show you here in a second that shows you, okay, if you put the springs in this combination of springs, you're going to get a certain pull weight, and that's ideal for carry, or that's ideal for competition. Right now, I have this set up with the lightest spring set possible, and it says that it's around 4 pounds, but we did a little test on it, pulling lower on the trigger bar, and it was actually around 3.5 pounds. How about that angle? What do you guys think? Let's try this. Super easy to triple tap. All right, so now I have the 1.0 slide on the 2.0 frame. Downside to this is you can't slingshot at home. I do have a fix for that, which we'll talk about in another video, but I just want to see what the True Precision barrel, the Loki Tactical slide, and the TBR CI comp will function like in conjunction with the Apex Tactical 2.0 flatty. So let's see what happens. Very nice. I can dig it. So what do you guys think of this trigger? I think it's pretty cool. Let's go to the house real quick. We're gonna talk about it, look at it up close, and see what we think. Different day, back at the house, but now let's take a look at this thing up close, talk about it a little more, and let me tell you why, what all's been going on. About a week and a half ago, Apex sent me a message on Instagram because they knew I was local to the Arizona area where they're located, and they said, we'd like for you to come up with your 2.0, and we'd like to install it and run some tests on it so we can get more data about it, because they want to make sure that it's safe and that it's functioning correctly and that it is actually doing what they say it will do. Thank you, Apex, for bringing me up there. They're not paying me to say this. I'm not even affiliated with the links, but they did hook me up with this trigger for free to do this review. So thank you to Apex. A little bit more about this trigger. In the M&P 2.0 and the 2.0 Compact and the 2.0 45, they've upgraded the triggers slightly. They've still got that stupid trigger shoe, whatever. And I just gotta say, this trigger is better than any Glock trigger that I've ever shot in my entire life, hands down. So what does Apex say that this trigger will do? They say that it will reduce the take-up. They say that it will reduce the pre-travel and over-travel by 40%. They say it will reduce the pull weight by 2 pounds, resulting in a very crisp and clean break. And they say it maintains all the internal safeties, thus making it more so like a 1911 trigger. And I gotta say, I think they pretty much hit the nail on the head with this. So let's dive up close real quick. We'll do some pull weight tests. We'll take a look at it and show you what all's included in it. So here is an up close look at the M&P 2.0 forward set flat trigger from Apex Tactical. I'm sure that it will be available in red in the future, but right now it's only available in black. Here's the take up. So their first claim is that it reduces the overall pre-travel and over-travel. So I don't have my M&P, the original trigger in here to compare it to, but I can already tell you, if you have a 2.0 at the house, go ahead and look at that pre-travel and tell me what you think. It's just slack. There's nothing to it really, so it doesn't affect me. And then there's the wall, and then here's the brake. Okay, and here's the reset. Beautiful. Oh, that is really something special. Watch. I mean, there's literally no over travel. There's the reset, audible and tactile, and the brake. I could do that all day. What's really interesting is there's no wall to it. I mean, there is a wall. I do have it set up on the lightest possible spring setting, but I'm sure if I put the heavier springs in there, I might be able to fill the wall, but nothing compared to like a Glock wall. I mean, it's like it doesn't even exist. It's literally like, this is better than the Arsenal Democracy switch trigger that I have on my Glock, and that's one of my favorite Glock triggers of all time. So, wow. So anywho, it's got the crisp brake, it's got the smooth uptake, very smooth. It's not grinding, it's not crunching, it's just there. And then the reset, smooth as butter. And it maintains all the internal safeties. So what all comes with this trigger? All right, so let me just dump all that out. Obviously you're gonna get the trigger shoe. This is my OEM shoe. Then, you know, we reuse the M&P trigger bar. You're gonna get a few different springs here. One goes on your trigger bar and one goes into your safety plunger area that is under the sight. And they include this tool right here. What it does is because you got to move your rear sight out of the way, it holds pressure down on that spring so you can slide your sight back over. It also comes with a slave pin to install your pin back into the trigger. This is all my OEM stuff here, and please forgive me because I forget the names of all these different parts. You know, you get the different sear, and I forgot, maybe it's a disconnector, I don't remember. But you get those parts. You also are gonna get their rounded plunger. This is my OEM plunger. And here is what their rounded plunger looks like. A lot more rounded than the stock M&P plunger right here. You can definitely see the difference. And it comes with a lighter spring that goes up underneath that. For those of you who aren't familiar with M&Ps, they work a lot differently than Glock. Let's go ahead and do a pull weight test. And I have my 1911 and my Glock with an Apex trigger so you can see the difference on how it operates. So that one pulled right at 3.1 pounds, and that was at the very bottom of the trigger shoe. The further down you pull, the lighter it gets. So we will pull it just a tad bit higher on the trigger shoe and see what kind of reading that we get in that position. So just a little bit higher up, about a third of the way up the trigger, it goes up to about 4.1 pounds, which that's perfect for carry in my opinion. Now let's take a look at my 1911 here that I just built. This, you know, obviously has a beautiful trigger. All 1911s do. So watch this. Here's the take up. There's the brake. There's the reset. So it feels nice. I mean, obviously I need to do some work on it, but it's not as smooth as the Apex. Let's do a pull weight test just to see where this one is. So that one pulled it around 3.1 pounds, 3.2 pounds, just like the M&P trigger does if you pull it at the very bottom of the trigger shoe. I'll have a video on this later, but you can use 1.0 slides on a 2.0 frame. It's just you need to do some finagling to make it work, and it actually works very well. But that isn't for this video. I will have a video for that later. Okay, let's see if it changes, because in this slide, it has the factory safety plunger and this factory safety plunger spring. There's the wall, there's the brake. Reset. I will say, like, it feels more spongy without their safety plunger and safety plunger spring, but it still feels a lot nicer than the stock M&P trigger. So let's do a pull weight test. So already, the other one pulled it around I can't remember what it was. I'll have to look at the video. But this one pulled a little bit higher, and that was at the very bottom of the trigger shoe. A little bit of a difference there, but I can definitely tell you guys, the trigger gauge and just doing this just does not do this trigger justice. And you guys know me, I'm a trigger snob. So it is amazing. So let's jump up top real quick and I'll give you my final thoughts on the Apex M&P 2.0, as well as where you can pick it up. So there you have it, guys. That is the Apex Tactical Flatty for the M&P 2.0. Answer a couple of your questions. When I do these reviews, guys, there are two main things that I look for in a review. So number one, does the product actually perform the way that the company says it will perform? And number two, does it compromise safety? I will always interject my opinions about a product, but those are the two main things that can make a review negative. Doesn't perform the way they say it will, or safety starting to get compromised on our end, because I don't want to recommend a product that you can go out and get and you get it and it doesn't work. I mean, obviously I can't control everything. I could have a good experience and someone could order it and they could have a bad experience. But until I have a good experience with something, I can't recommend it. Now, with this one, it has hit the nail on the head. No, it has performed flawlessly. I've put probably 250 rounds through it right now. I put about 100 or so when we were out in the desert. Then I went to the indoor range, put 100 or so through it. Wow, I can't believe how accurate I am with this with gun. Not that the gun's inherently more accurate, it's just I'm more accurate with it. Appendix style with this Lost Concealment Ronin holster with the with the Enforce APL Compact, and it conceals very well. They hit the nail on the head with everything, really smoothed things out, really dropped it by 2 pounds. And we could confirm that with the trigger pull gauge. And wow, I mean, I'm actually just speechless about this because it works very well. What are some questions that you guys might have about this? So this one will work with the M&P 2.0 full size, which I have here, both the 4¼ inch and the 5-inch model. It will also work with the 40 caliber models and the 45 ACP models. So that's pretty cool. It pretty much covers everything except for the shield. They will have a completely separate trigger for that. I'm not going to do an install video because I'm pretty sure that Apex Tactical is going to do an install video. But if they don't, here in the next month, I will make an install video just so you guys can see how it's done. It's a lot more involved, as you can see up close, than the Glock triggers. So, it's not as simple as doing a Glock trigger. However, because it's a little bit more intricate, it is a lot nicer of a trigger system. Now I just got to get my hands on a 2.0 compact because I definitely want one of those with one of these in it. Wink, wink. What's up, Smith and Wesson? Nah, I'm just playing. I'll buy one or something like that, but love it. Love it. Definitely awesome. I will have a video coming on how you can use these on the 2.0 frame because the slide lock, slide release system's different, but I have a hack for that. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can get that video when it comes out. There's not really much left to say about it. It does exactly what Apex Tactical says it will do. It doesn't compromise safety. And as you guys can see in the footage, it's a dream to shoot. Let me know if you guys have any other questions down in the comments section below. Be happy to talk about it. And until next time, you guys stay sexy and I love you.